February 1st, I almost said 2nd. February 2nd is totally on my mind. That is my daughter's 4th birthday. My youngest daughter will be turning 4 tomorrow. So come and join me live on YouTube. Oops. I'm just posting up the tweet now. All right, here we go. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day. We're going to look at XLF and SPY as well and more. All right, let me just do this. Copy. I'm going to start putting this on LinkedIn as well so that people have it in both spots. And let's get the chat going. Oh my goodness, I think I'm in the dark. Let me enlighten myself here. There we go. Add some light to the situation. And let's check out this crazy, wild, volatile market. It is awesome. This is what I love about day trading. The day trading world is amazing. I do see there are a couple people watching right now. Thank you guys for joining me. Let me just set this up. Sorry, it takes a couple seconds for me to get everything ready and rocking and rolling with the live stream. All right, here we go. We've got the SPY up. Let's pull this here. Done. And here we go with the SPY. I've got the bear and the bull behind me. Who is going to win? Today we have a bit of a battle. We did bounce off of the 50 simple moving average, higher than normal volume on that candlestick. Many times when we see higher than normal volume, that will tend to be a reversal when we see it at the bottom. And we took out the volume from 2 days earlier, from the 27th of January. Is this a repeat of last year? Fairly similar. We did come down, correct, surge higher in February, and then the holiday week of President's Day weekend in February, boom, we corrected. Right now on the 45-minute chart, we have broken above the volume weighted average price from January 27th. So we have broken above the volume weighted average price from that day. So right now we are holding above. If we're able to close above 375, I think there's a good chance that we will be seeing new highs to this market coming in the next couple of weeks. If we don't, hello, Samuel. Books on options, Samuel. You know what? I haven't read any books on options. So you're going to make me curious to go out there and find a couple books on options. I do know that there's Jonathan Rose out there. He does an options sort of, not boot camp, but he used to be an options market maker and now runs a service on that. You have a question, is it Kevin or Kevin? Kevin? What's your question, Kevin? And thank you guys for joining me today. If you guys like the live stream, please hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you know when I do go live to help other people. All right, so naked. Ivan. Oh, okay. Kyvan? Got it. Thank you for that. I don't want to pronounce anyone's name incorrectly. So Kyvan, the way that I see it right here, we had this 45-minute chart. It was holding support. Now it has broken down a bit. It did hit this moving average on the daily. This was definitely a short squeeze right here on naked. This was a stock that was expected to run into the crown. I'm not sure if this was one of Wall Street Bets stock picks to promote as a heavily shorted stock. This one was pretty much going to the graveyard. They were, I know there were a couple of guys that were looking to buy out the whole company. They were thinking about buying the company out and when it was for pennies. And now I think it went into a reverse split up, changed the stock price. And now we saw that there was a short squeeze that happened. This scenario of higher volume on this side and then descending volume typically means that, hey, that momentum is slowing. Now, should it break the trend down, right? We have this right here. See, we sort of broke it, tested it here, broke down. All right, it would need to break this orange trend line with higher than normal volume in order to squeeze. all of the people that have shorted it on the way down now. Right now, it looks to me as if the momentum for naked is to the downside. Hello, Jane. Can you see Wells Fargo, please? Regards. Hola, Fernando. Yo estudiaste en Buenos Aires por una mes. My goodness, you don't want to know how many years ago. All right, let's look at Wells Fargo. And I'm also going to let's go over the SPY too in the indexes, and then we'll look more at. So Wells Fargo looks like it's rolling down the hill a little bit, right? It's got a little hill right here. We're coming back down, testing a support level right here. And maybe if it breaks down below 29.80, we'll be coming down to 28.50. Maybe that will be the next support area. If we draw a box right here, oh my goodness, excuse me 2 seconds. Let's put this right there. I always forget to mute the other rooms I have going in the background. Let me pull this back up. All right. So we have a bit of this that happened back here, right? Oh goodness, it doesn't want to work for today. There we go, right there. So if it breaks down, maybe it's going to come and test that 28.85. Yeah. See, yo hablo español. But I realized I just said the past tense. It's been a long time since I've used proper grammar in Spanish. But yes, I speak Spanish. Aunque yo parle italiano y yo parle francés aussi. All right. But can I talk technically stock terms in all those languages? No. I could get by with communication. All right, so let's check out the indexes, right? SPY, Q, IWM, and Dow Jones looked really, really weak at the end of last week, which was the end of the month, which was also the end of the week, but still just 1 month into the year. We did wipe out quite a bit of price action, and we came to a support area, also tested the 50 simple moving average on the 24-hour chart, and we're bouncing today. Looking to see, yeah, we'll look at those. I have them on my list today, so we'll go over them. And I do have to run by 12:45 because I will be on with Ticker Talker at 12:45. All right, so checking this out for the SPY. Right now, as long as we hold below the 425 on the 45-minute chart, feeling bearish. However, the market is bullish overall. So if we close above 375, looking for this to continue to the upside potentially, test a couple of these downward trend lines, and then if it breaks, hey, we have a bit of a wedge that's forming, and we might see a next leg up on the indexes. Oh, de nada. All right. So the Qs, we're really bouncing up here, right? It found support, bounced up. This is still the middle of the day. What's really important is going to be end of the day. You see over here on the 425 as well, we have, on the 45 minute, we have the 200 simple moving average right here, and the rest of the moving averages are curling down. So we're still battling them. Look at how it tested these moving averages back on the 28th, and it curled down from there. So when we look at the moving averages and how it's respecting them as boundaries up above now, if we're not able to break here, maybe this will curl over and maybe the other indexes will as well. For now, we do have a bit of a dead cat bounce happening. Is it going to be full-on recovery from this mini correction? We will see. End of day will paint a better story than right now. IWM as well was the strongest. It started to come down. We bounced off the anchored volume weighted average price from back on, what's day is that? The 21st of December, another point at which it bounced and it broke above the 21 EMA. All right, here we are testing it on Friday and we've bounced up above. The green and the red line is what I do produce for my watch list as the levels that I'm watching to see if we break below it, okay, potential bear trade. If we break above it, potential bull trade. So we want to be nimble to see which direction it will run. We also have Dow Jones Industrial Average, the top 30 stocks. I don't have my bearish below here, but I have it pretty much at this trend line right here. And we have this box on the Dow Jones. So we have a box here and a box above. This is now testing this as support. We do have a lot of earnings coming up this week, quite a volatile week for that reason. So keeping all of that in mind tomorrow night could be crazy either direction. All right, let's go and look at API. That was the first one on my list today for a potential move. It had a massive gap up, had a nice little run right pre-market just before opening. And then into the open, shorts got squeezed. Hey, look, we had 30 minutes running to the upside, stalled at that round $80 mark, pulled back, testing this area right here. This could be setting up potentially for a head and shoulders to fill the gap back down. If we were to break below here, break below $68, would look for that measurement 81 to 68, 13 points, might correct back down 13 points and pretty much close the gap since we're up 15 points. So keep that on watch. If it breaks below 68, there might be a fill the gap trade back down on API, Agora. Now GameStop. GameStop, let's look at the volume, right? Let's look at it on a 24-hour chart over here. Let's shrink this a little bit, move this up, because you cannot understand a lot of fast English. Oh yeah, Fernando. Sorry that I'm speaking so quickly. I'm trying to get it all in before 12:45, but you know you can also adjust the speed on YouTube on the replay mode, so it will play back more slowly for you. So you'll be able to adjust my rate of talking. All right, so GameStop came up, somewhat setting up into this wedge on a shorter time frame. I drew this on the 45-minute chart over here. So we have a bottom and we have a top. What's the measurement right here? From down here, 137 to 273. So keeping this one on watch to see, hey, are we going to break out right here at, for example, 330? It would need to break 330 for me to be confident for this to cross up above, right? I said 273 was the measurement from the high to the low. So let's go here. 273, I think that's going to put us roughly at 600. Oh, even higher. 273, yeah, roughly 600. So if we break out of that 330, technically speaking, this could squeeze up to $600. Right now, it's in this wedge. It's not really going one way or the other. The volume is dropping. That can be an indication of a reversal move. On the 24-hour chart, hi, Financial Freedom, came down and we bounced off of the 8 exponential moving average. On the 24-hour chart, also pretty much bounced off of the 425, 425. So just looking at this technically right now would give this personally to test this trend line down here. Roughly 188. As long as that holds, this has the potential to squeeze higher, in my opinion. If we break above 330, I would look for a target roughly of $600 for GameStop. AMC as well. AMC in a wedge as well. Did I draw it on here? I don't think I drew it on here today. I have the wedge that it here was the support that it was setting up. It seems to have broken down though. You see how we have the volume that is dropping away? Right here, we have the volume just dropping off. Nobody's interested in buying it, right? Or maybe it's simply holding this price action right here, roughly at the 200 simple moving average on the 15-minute chart. And this could be setting up for a mini squeeze right here of this trend from open. All right, let's also check out SILV. So SILV, also another silver stock. Right now, I have a potential target on this one actually all the way up to 1370. So as long as it's holding and we close above 12 right here, if this is able to regain the strength, we're testing this former high back here from Friday's pre-market. As long as we're able to regain some strength right here and close above 12, I would look for this all the way up at 1370 for a breakout above there. We came up, it tested a former high back here, broke down, kind of in the middle, of the upper and lower right here, this was likely a short squeeze trade. Selling pressure came in, and it seems to have found support a bit over here on this moving average. AMC, or they're not allowing you to buy it, rigged. You know what, sound break? It depends on who your broker is. If your broker is telling you that you're not allowed to buy it, I would screenshot it personally, document it, and potentially send that into the SEC, because that's a freedom of being able to freely trade stock, unless they've given you a margin requirement or something like that in which they say they're not allowing you to buy it unless you have a certain amount of cash in your account. So I would personally, if I was in that scenario, I would document it. I would write my broker, and I would also write the SEC, because that's not fair, and the SEC is looking into regulations on that. Nice, Kyvan. All right, USAS. This is a little sleeper. This is one I've been in long term, and right now it has come back down. You see this green box over here? This green box has been setting up for a couple weeks. Let's go to the weekly chart here. Oops, excuse me. I want this one over here to be weekly, and I want this one to be 45-minute. So you see that we came up, pulled back, went sideways here, and finally broke up above. It's a little bright. Let's make it a little less bright right there. All right, and now we're testing this, what was support, as resistance. Will this continue to squeeze back up? On the bigger picture, we have a bit of resistance right here. Oop, on our weekly chart. You can see that we have this wedge that it's been testing, and this shorter wedge right here, more of an extreme trend line. And gold and silver have just run like crazy today. Potentially they short squeezed it up, right? We knew that Wall Street Bets was talking about silver. They were targeting silver. Even some websites ran out of silver this weekend. Somebody, I think there was a Mexican website too that stopped selling it because they ran out of their supply. So when we have websites that are selling out of supply, that's going to indicate that there is a lower supply, yet higher demand. So it's natural that the prices would rise. The futures definitely squeezed. We saw that silver really rocked the futures. Let's look at it on the weekly chart. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you see silver was testing former highs over here. We have a big cup handle, started the breakout here, testing this. Maybe it will come back down to 27 and then surge higher. So it's natural for it to sort of go through this cycle of extreme up, we're extended, pull back, and then continue that upward motion. So I'm not worried. I have silver holdings, I have gold holdings, I have actual silver, I have actual gold. The valuations, think about this. People have been speculating that silver could go from $25 to $1,500. If you own something that's $25 now, it could be worth $1,500 later. This is why wouldn't you potentially invest in physical as well as not just stocks, right? Personally, that's what I've done. And so I'm very happy to see that the price is going up. And keeping this on watch. My gain is a bit high. Okay, Oliver, thank you. Hold on. Let's see if I can fix this for you guys. Did that make it better or worse, Oliver? Here, let me try turning it this way. Is that better? Thank you for giving me the heads up, Oliver. Okay. So right now, silver retraced a little bit and shooting in that motion. We have it right here. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not a master in microphones, so I can take any sort of critique. I'm open to it. Thank you. All right. So is this going to be a shoulder and a head and a shoulder? I would really watch the 28.20 level, and then again back down to roughly 27 over here, 26.50 area to see if it tests this trend line for silver stocks. I would watch the silver futures and the gold futures as well. So USAS has silver and gold in it. This is America's Gold and Silver Corporation. So this is my little sleeper that I have longer term investment in. I've been talking about it way back here when it was back, oh goodness, I think it was the first time back 256, no, further back than that. I started buying this, I believe back in November, October, November down here, seeing it bounce and riding it up, taking some profit, adding and watching that one. DD was on my short list today. And let's put this on the 24-hour. It had the potential to bounce right at open, which it did. It squeezed. I saw this hitting the 50 simple moving average, higher than normal volume. We have earnings coming up. I thought, this is a perfect one to have on watch. Sure enough, had a nice trade from 73 up to 74. Hey, that's the 425 EMA. Look at how it was provided resistance. Just try it, especially on a 45-minute chart. It's really awesome. All right, and then it started curling down. Also had KOSS, which is a 1.4 million share stock. This one is lower float. This is the wedge that I drew this morning. You see that we have a bit of an ascending triangle, and it started breaking that upward trend this morning pre-market and continued on down. So this one looks as if it's ready to come back down to reality, had a massive squeeze. And again, as what's really important to watch is the volume. There's big volume, a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less. As that volume is dropping off, no one else is interested in buying it. So keep it all on watch to make sure that you do not get stuck, right? I don't want to get stuck in something where nobody's buying it. And the volume to me is crucial in determining which direction the price could potentially go. Riot as well today. So Riot and Mara, looked at both of them and I chose Riot on the list for a potential short. Broke the downward trend on the daily chart over here. This is anchored VWAP from the high here and anchored VWAP from the low over here. So we bounced off of the anchored VWAP and then tested the upper limit, big selling wick and continuing down until it breaks one way or the other. That next big trade, in my opinion, on Riot is going to either be above 22.35 or below 18.30. Right now we're going sideways, and likely the same thing with Bitcoin as well. So keeping that on watch to see, hey, which direction is that big trade going to be? Could use Riot and Mara, watching their price action to determine, all right, well, we're not going anywhere quickly. This is a sideways price action that's hard to trade. If it were to break above, great, likely a long trade. If it breaks down below, okay, likely a short trade. BP as well was on my short list and continuing to drop. This one was testing the 50 simple moving average on Friday. So looking at it like DD, it had the potential to move to the upside. With earnings coming out, it did drop down further. Now, there's a nice downward trend. Maybe they're going to say, you know what, we had negative earnings. However, our forward guidance looking forward with the fact that COVID vaccine is out, people will be returning to work, airlines will be opening back up again, blah, 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 blah. The forward guidance might be spectacular, and we might see that this rips those shorts that all got in on the way down. Final one on my list was MAC as well. So MAC was another one hitting the 425. So I thought potential for this to bounce. However, I want to watch this. Had big downward price action and continuing down today as well. Nice little trade there, breaking down from 1480, continuing down to 480. All right, let's run over really quickly Mesa and JWN. Oops. Helps when I type in the ticker correctly. All right, so Mesa, we're sort of going sideways here. I would look at Mesa for breaking above $7 or breaking down below 620. Do you see that, Samuel? Right here? Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. Here, let's do it this way. Right? It's just trading sideways right at the moment. So I'd watch it above 7 or below 620 over here. And then JWN, I know sometimes I find it's easier when I'm watching somebody else then look at this, how we really traded in a bit of a downward wedge. It broke that, shot up, then another little bit of a downward wedge, shot up, came up here, a little move, and now this is starting to pull back down. If it breaks below 34.60, I would look for a move back down to 31.80 here. If it holds at 34.80, would look for it to test up to 37.74, and that next big momentum trade, in my opinion, would be to the upside right here. Bernard Looney, the CEO of BP, has pushed into other energy sources a long-term play when it finds the right support. Awesome, Mark. Thanks for that. I have not done a lot of technical or fundamental research on these stocks. Some of them I do, but most of them it is simply setting up for that technical analysis and day trade. JWN was nice all the way down here from 12.80 up to 40, but maybe that 40, which was also the former high, and look at where we were, right? This is January of last year. We're seeing a lot of stocks, XLF, hitting the same point. They've recovered. Maybe they're ready, saying, uh-oh, maybe we're going to take a little profit here. And if this is the seasonality, right? The seasonality happens on JWN after Christmas. Hey, we don't expect people to spend a lot of money, so maybe it's going to drop back down. Just check on the seasonality equity clock as well. All right, have an amazing day, guys. I do have to jump on over to Ticker Talker for my live stream over there. You're welcome to join me if you'd like at the Ticker Talker channel on YouTube. Have an amazing day. Carpe profit, seize those profits one trade at a time, and I'll see you all for yoga tomorrow morning. Yeah, it's going to be uploaded, Carrie Mauve, and it will also be, while it's processing, the link will be available on my Twitter as well. So check my Twitter for once I'm done with my Ticker Talker, I will upload it there so you're able to see it. All right, have an amazing day, guys, and see you all tomorrow morning for yoga. Otherwise, 12:15 for the market analysis tomorrow afternoon. Have a great one. Bye.